It's the Season 3 Kenny Beats Beat Battle Championship. This is Kenny Beats. These are the finalists, most of whom have won a battle during this calendar year and have qualified out of the semifinals round. Somehow I got 6th place. Let's see how I did it. There are a few people who want to know where my sounds come from. As we go through this breakdown, you'll see that most of the instruments are either Spitfire Labs or are from Spitfire BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover. The first half of this beat references the march from the Nutcracker. First we have the trumpet. There are 2 tracks for short and long articulations. Then the flute comes in with the bass. On the bass is a plugin called Soothe 2 that automatically removes problematic resonances. This preset demuds the bass. Now the sample comes in. It's rare that the sample is already a usable song. This part builds an energy, so I used it here. I had to bring back the xylophone from the semifinals beat. The Rhodes type sound comes from the Ableton electric instrument. I have a bunch of stock plugins in this audio effects rack. This punchy trumpet sound comes from this plugin. It looks like this. Then I have more stock plugins, more Soothe 2, and I also panned it super wide. The Spitfire Labs bass has an effects chain similar to that of the Rhodes and plays a chord note pattern like this. The drums, which I also panned all the way out, move from a swing pattern to a samba groove and help to set up the metric modulation. More on that later. The percussion break also contains tempo blocks, which play this 5+5+6 pattern. Writing patterns with odd groupings is an easy way to create syncopation. The bongos have a pattern that adds a layer of stability to this section. These percussive elements allow for us to change the tempo via metric modulation. But what is a metric modulation? A metric modulation is a change in pulse rate which is derived from a note value or grouping heard before the change. Here we're trying to move from 360 beats per minute to 120, and 3 beats at 360 equals 1 beat at 120. Listen to how dotted half notes and dotted quarter notes also act as quarter notes and eighth notes at the new tempo. Essentially, metric modulations allow for abrupt but natural changes in tempo. In this section, the sample usage again is very simple. I'm just warping the sample to the beat. Here, I have a shortened kabasa sound playing eighth notes. This snare is actually from one of the subscriber rewards. I isolated the snare within this break and added some effects to it. This 808 comes from the Kenny Beats Valentine 808 kit. Here's what it sounds like on its own. The synthy stuff in the beat is all default Ableton sounds. I added audio effects to the synth lead and tuned it up a little until it felt right. And for this synth, I played the chords live instead of drawing them in. I added these chimes and violas for these 4 measures to try and fill up the space and build intensity. Let me highlight one of the chords in this progression. I talked about this structure in the past, but this time it's part of a minor 6-9 chord. I think that this chord, along with the minor 13 chord, offers a unique flavor that I believe is underutilized. Going back to the beat, I automated the volume and shifted everything to the left for a few measures. I did this to try and maximize the impact of the Rhodes sneaking in on the right. The percussion involves a bossa nova clave, which is closely related to the 3-2 sun clave, and a shaker that provides an 8th note backbone. This track fades out as the Rhodes solo slows down. I just wanted to take a moment to thank Kenny and the community for giving me a chance. I was so sure when I graduated high school that I would be washed by now, but this community has helped me grow as a musician beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. Participating in a beat battle finals is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I just wanted to thank everyone who made this possible. If anyone has any questions, advice, or suggestions for what I should do in the future, please leave a comment or message me on Discord or something. I look forward to being a more active member of the community in the future. Bye.